Did he really just use that cheesy quote? Why, yes, he did. Except in my case, I might actually really be lost. So why don't we talk about routes and navigation? Oh, spring. In my part of the world, it's just not going away anytime soon. Just the other day, we had another huge dump of snow. Riding in the mountains is not going to happen anytime soon. So, I figured this would be a good time to talk about how I go about finding routes and places to ride, and then what I use for navigation. Now, I'm truly a 50-50 rider. I actually spend an equal amount of time on the road and in the dirt. Now for road riding, YouTube is my main motivation. There are so many good YouTubers out there posting just fantastic videos of all kinds of neat rides. I tend to see one of those, get motivated, head to the mapping program of choice and search routes, and then start looking up sites and attractions and hotels and food and all that good stuff. That tends to be how I do most of my sort of big picture motivational, what kind of ride should I do for the road. So the next resource I've been using for road-based riding is motorcycleroads.com. Oh, it's a pretty neat site. You can sort by state, and within each state, and you've got lots of other filters that you can sort and search by. Tons of rides for every state in here. Lots of good information, ratings by folks who've ridden it, and then when you go down to the actual ride itself, good descriptions about routes, that sort of thing, and then all kinds of good comments by people who've ridden it. So certainly a good starting point for trying to figure out road routes. I really like this site, been using it quite a bit. The next one, now I don't personally use it, but I know lots of people do like the Butler motorcycle maps. I just happen to like planning on a desktop electronically, and then obviously on the bike I'm using electronic navigation. I don't use paper maps while I'm on the bike. Now there is an electronic version, and I'll tell you about that in a second, but so for the most part, generally I don't use the Butler maps, although I do have one for the Idaho BDR that I'll be doing this summer, so I'll have a paper map just as a backup. Speaking of the BDR and dirt, the next one, as we get into the more dirt-oriented stuff, is advrider.com. Old school, it's been around forever, all kinds of great information. Go to the forums and you've got all kinds of ride reports, both small ones, big multi-state day trips. If this doesn't motivate you to go on a ride somewhere, I don't know what will. And they've also got a great regional forum, so you can go to your particular state and find all kinds. I found lots of good day rides in the regional forums for my state. So certainly a really good resource. Okay, the next resource, this one sort of bridges both navigation and route planning. So this is Gaia GPS. So I spent quite a bit of time researching both Gaia GPS and Rever. I like them both. They both seem to be pretty equal for lots of things. The one comment I'll make, the one thing that Rever has that's pretty neat is if you get the Rever subscription, you can add the Butler motorcycle map layers, and so then you can have your electronic versions of the Butler maps. So that's a good feature. I do like that. But the one thing that Rever didn't have that Gaia GPS does have is integration with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, because I ride a 2020 Africa Twin, and I have both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integrated into my display. So when I connect my phone, I can use that for my navigation, and I don't have to add a second GPS on top of the bike. And so I really wanted to take advantage of that. And so far, I believe Gaia GPS is the only one that has Android Auto integration. So ultimately, I went with Gaia GPS. I've been pretty happy so far. They've got tons of great overlay maps that you can add. So you've got, you can base your base map, you can choose topo maps, street maps, however you want to display, and then you add more layers on top of it, right? So this one right here is all the U.S. Forest Service recreation areas. So it shows you, trailheads and campgrounds and all that kind of stuff as a layer. And then you can add, so like this is the motor vehicle map. So it shows you all of the motor vehicle off-road routes that you can take. Fantastic resource. And if you live in a state like mine, you can see that there is an unending amount of rides that you can do off-road, and it's just a maze of trails. And if you don't have something like this out there, you'll get lost in a hurry. So this has been a fantastic resource. And the other cool thing that's got is you can add public tracks. So if you turn this on, then you can see routes that users have ridden, and then you can go and you can get details about how long it was and that sort of thing. So a great resource for finding routes in your local area. So really like that. As I said, my phone is my GPS unit. I'm using the quad lock case and the quad lock mount. Really like these. The mount has a built-in stabilization, sucks up some of that vibration from the bike, so I really like that, how it protects the phone. And then the quick release, super nice to be able to pop the phone on and off, stop the bike, take a picture, snap it back on, and off you go. Really a fan of the quad lock stuff. All in all, I'm really happy with the integration between Gaia GPS, Android Auto, and the Africa Twin. It works real well. It's seamless. I've got a toggle switch that I can flip back and forth between the Africa Twin display, RPM speedometer, that sort of thing, and then back to navigation and my map. So it's all in one unit. Super nice. And I really like not having to manage a second GPS device that's mounted somewhere up on the console somewhere. So really enjoying that. Everything works well, but there is one weird quirk. For whatever reason, the Africa Twin requires that you have a Bluetooth headset connected in order to actually use Android Auto. Don't ask me why, but it does. Works well most of the time, but every once in a while, stop on the side of the road to take a picture or something, and if I walk too far away from the bike, Bluetooth disconnects, and then when I walk back, it will connect, but then Android Auto doesn't think that it's connected and it won't work.
I'm so damn confused.
And then you don't have your map, and then you're there for 5 minutes trying to get everything connected again and running. A minor nitpick, but all in all, super happy with how it's working. So that's it. That's how I go about finding routes and places to ride and what I'm currently using for navigation. Let's hope that this spring ends soon and we can get out and make some actual riding videos soon. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. See you next time, adventure people.